Man, we have a hard time pronouncing analysis on this show. Hard time.
And the lasses?
Yeah, we have a hard time with big words on this show.
Oh, the big words, Gina. The big words, Gina.
I have the toughest time, but I listen, we're an equal opportunity show in terms of stumbling over words.
Put it this way. If they expect perfection, no.
No, you're not getting that. You're not getting that here.
No.
You're not getting that here.
You expect great content, passion. You want perfection? Go to the Bible.
Yeah.
Find all the perfection.
I guarantee this. You'll laugh with us and you'll laugh at us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome to my world.
But either way, it's a win for you because you'll be laughing.
Yeah, especially when Canty or Canty is going to do everything like that right now. Sportsman like on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Getting it done, brought to you by Granger. We bring in Pat Costello to make sure we find out if they can or Canty. Pat Costello, the flow is yours.
Guys, Mike Tomlin says that they have no issues rolling with Mason Rudolph as their starting quarterback heading into this season. Kenny or Canty, can the Steelers start this season with Mason Rudolph as their quarterback?
The lies you tell, Mike Tomlin. They can't start the season with Mason Rudolph as QB1. No shot that that's going to happen. As my man Charles Barkley says, I guarantee that the Pittsburgh Steelers ain't going to start the season with Mason Rudolph as QB1 with the intention of him being the starting quarterback for all 17 games. Now, could he start week 1 and give way to a rookie quarterback that they take in the first couple of rounds? Sure. I think that is more likely the scenario if Mason Rudolph starts a game. But keep this in mind. Mason Rudolph has been in the National Football League for a half decade. Mason Rudolph has only had one season where he started more than 7 games. One. So there's no way that the Pittsburgh Steelers look at Mason Rudolph as a viable option to be their starter for the entirety of the regular season.
It is definitely Canty, but as the agent of chaos that I am, please let this happen. Please let him be the opening day starter because you decided that you wanted to wait for Aaron Rodgers, who may wind up and retire on you if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers. And what if they don't draft a quarterback in the first round or the second round? They could really be in a quarterback quandary waiting for Aaron Rodgers to make a decision. And if he makes the wrong decision for the Steelers, it could be hell on earth for that football team before week 1 of this NFL season.
Yeah, it could be. No doubt.
Canty, you might be public enemy number 1 in Chicago right now.
Not might be.
Why is that, Pat?
Well, you weren't exactly complimentary to Caleb Williams yesterday. You didn't totally. You were a little complimentary, but, Kenny or Canty, can Caleb Williams prove you wrong this year?
Oh, I absolutely think he can prove me wrong, and I fully expect that he will prove me wrong. I look at the Chicago Bears as a playoff team in 2025. The talent with Caleb Williams is undeniable. The things that I have questions about are the intangibles and, quite frankly, the 6 inches between his ears. We saw bad body language last year. There are grumblings around, potentially this guy being a little bit different when it comes to what you would expect from a traditional or conventional quarterback. And here's the thing, different is not always bad, but I will say this, when you had a bad regular season, when you went 5-12 in your first year as a starter, you don't want to be the guy that sticks out. You don't want to be the guy that's that much different, too much of a divergent from what we've seen quarterbacks of the past and present, guys that have had success at that position in this league. Like we talked about the Esquire article with Caleb Williams and him spending, part of the offseason in Copenhagen and all of those things. And all of the things that he's doing, he is entitled to. Being a businessman off the field, spending time with his significant other. You can do all of those things. That's what the offseason is for. I just don't understand why you had to put it on blast in the article with Esquire coming off of the year that you did, because perception will become your reality. And if things don't go well, if your team faces some adversity, especially early on, knowing that you have a first-time head coach, people are going to go back to the things that were outlined in that article and look for reasons to criticize you. You're bringing more criticism on yourself. You're putting more pressure on yourself by doing this article and doing this sit down that was completely unnecessary. It's a self-inflicting wound.
It's definitely a can, but I've always been a big believer in this. If you're a terrible student with a great teacher, you get what you deserve. Caleb Williams has to be a better student than he was for Matt Eberflus. Now, you don't want to trust Matt Eberflus, that's fine. But now you got a guy, Ben Johnson, that knows how to coach offensive football, that knows how to coach quarterbacks and coach them up. He has proven to be a terrific teacher as an offensive coordinator. But if you're a terrible student, If you're Caleb Williams, then everything you said about him is going to come back to haunt him in year one with the Chicago Bears. Yeah, he can do it, but you better be a better student in year two with a different teacher than you were in year one with that teacher.
And I completely agree, co-sign on everything you said, but let me be clear, and I'm going to say it again. I fully expect the Chicago Bears to be a playoff team. I fully expect Caleb Williams to be a difference maker in a positive way in his second season in the National Football League. Those are my expectations of him. Why? Because there are no excuses for him in terms of why he can't have success. You rebuilt the offensive line. You have plenty of skill position players. You have a semblance of a running game. You have a defense. You've got all the elements you need to be successful. There's no reason why Caleb Williams can't be successful. If you want it to be more perfect than it already is, I'm sorry, folks, that's just not the NFL. Next one, Pat.
If you want to hear why Chicago's so mad at Chris Canty, go back on the podcast yesterday and take a listen, hour 2 of the podcast, and you'll hear exactly what he had to say. Hey, scan the QR code. It's up on the screen right now on ESPN. You can go take a listen.
Public Enemies Part 2.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Kenny or Canty, can a quarterback not named Shedeur Sanders be the second quarterback taken in the draft?
No, he can't. I don't see Jackson Dark or Tyler Shuck, Jalen Milroe superseding Shedeur Sanders as the second quarterback taken in this year's draft. I don't think that's going to happen. The dominant traits that we've seen from Shedeur Sanders, the pocket mobility, the ability to keep your eyes downfield, not the best arm talent. I think those are things that translate to NFL success. We've seen quarterbacks be able to play point guard and be a force multiplier in that regard in terms of elevating the play of those around him. I see Shedeur Sanders through that lens. I think that the dominant traits that we did see at the collegiate level across two programs, across different levels of college football, translate to success in the National Football League.
I can definitely see it.
Wow.
Especially if he gets past the Raiders. If the Raiders don't take him at number 6, don't be surprised if the Saints take Jackson Dart at number 9.
Wow.
Don't be surprised. They will try to make a case that Jackson Dart fits what they do better with Kellen Moore as their new head coach than Shedeur Sanders. It's laughable to me, but I could definitely see a scenario like that. That if Shedeur Sanders is not taken at 3 by the Giants or at 6 by the Raiders, that the Saints will take a Jackson Dart over there and try to make a case.
That's a reach.
It is a reach. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
When it comes to Jackson Dart,
I'm with you.
The things that he did in college, he ain't gonna do that in the NFL.
I hear that.
He didn't run an NFL offense in college.
I get it. So be it. They'll try to make a case that they believe Jackson Dart is better for the Saints.
Okay.
I could definitely see that as a case.
Okay. All right. Next one, Pat.
Last one. Kenny or Canty?
Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng. Và hôm nay của mình sẽ có tiêu đề là cài kéo. Mọi người hôm nay tiêu đề mình có là cái bờm. Bây giờ mình bắt đầu làm nhé. Mỏi quá.
Cái bờm chứ không phải là cái bà ui. Không là cái bờm. Sướng này. Đây rồi, ghi mày trong cuốn. Dễ mà. Đây ghi mày dễ quẹt cơ. Này chơi giật cái này.
Mình nghĩ tiếp tục sẽ là màu hồng.
Ấy. Dễ. Dễ. Kẹo này.
Ê, sao trong tủ có chanh không bắt chị cốc nước chanh? À thôi không, đói uống nước chanh thủng dạ dày sợ.
Mẹ làm sao cho tao bón nhiều tí vào thì ấy nó như ấy chứ.
Có ăn đâu mà tao bón, có ăn đâu trong người nó có cái gì đâu mà 4 hôm rồi có đi đâu. Uống nước nhiều nhưng mà ta lười uống nước lắm. Nó không được ra cái đường nào thì làm sao mà gầy được.
Game quá dễ. Game này cho chị con chứ. Ấy chết mình.
Nhạc. Boy.
Xong tất cả
Kia uống hết tiền cứ nhâm nhi.
ngon, uống từ từ thôi đúng không? Hết mất, không có tiền.
Bao nhiêu tiền một lon?
Gì đây, trả cho lon dư.
Đang hỏi bao nhiêu tiền một lon?
Mấy nghìn.
Gì hơn một hút?
Bớt bao nhiêu?
Hút lên 12 ra hay là 10.000 đó.
Cái này bán này vượt kiểu gì anh em ơi? Ấy bán này vượt kiểu gì ấy? Ấy bán này vượt kiểu gì đây?
Suốt ngày sửa xe, tiền cũng để sửa xe.
Ấy bán này chơi kiểu gì đây?
Hay nhỉ?
Tao bao giờ tao đi làm ngoài rồi, tao bán luôn cái xe đấy, cho chửi hết cả suốt ngày ốm mà.
Chết. Nếu giờ như này. Thế. Mình vẫn thế lại chết. Không được như thế nữa rồi. Với nhà đá. Ăn lại chết.
Im.
Điều gì phải có cách gì?
Giờ đi xuống rồi chết này.
Im.
Lên.
Đi lên.
Sang đi từ tìm cách. Ông sang bên này. Hãy sang đây xem từ tìm cách.
Nắm
Đi rồi.
có nên đi phòng này đi.
Xuống. Sang. Kinh vậy cái chữ. Ôi nhỉ.
Thằng em nơi mà.
Được rồi. Lên nữa.
Vòng sang.
Vòng sang kiểu gì nó không rớt đâu. Giờ bây giờ xuống này. Cái vòng xuống nó bị rớt không?
Dễ
nào ấy chị ơi.
còn. Còn.
Trông hèn nhỉ. Kiểu gì cũng phải đánh đá cái rồi.
Tôi biết mình đây. À đâu?
Đúng rồi. Đúng. Nghe này thật sự.
Dạ.